morning. This is Razia. Now today we are going to start 8th class first chapter, that is force. Now let us see what is force, or where can you see this force is applied, or where are the forces acting, what type of forces are acting. So let us see. To answer all these questions, let us define first of all force. What is force? Force is nothing but it is a push or a pull. Force is nothing but it is a push. It may be a push or it may be a pull. For example, let me define what is this push and what is this pull. When, for example, as there is a sudden wind, we'll just close the door, we'll push the door. So it is nothing but push. When you want to open the door, we'll just pull it. So this pushing and pulling is called as force. So how can we define the force? It is nothing but, force is nothing but push or pull of an object. Force is nothing but push or pull of an object. Sometimes it may be only push or sometimes it may be only pull. In some cases it is both push and as well as pull. So force is nothing but push or pull of an object, or it may be both. Both means push as well as pull. For example, when we see digging the borewell, when we are observing the digging of the borewell, in the borewell, when they are digging the borewell, one side they are digging means pushing into the earth, and the other side they are pulling the rod. So in the digging of the borewell, we are both the objects, both the forces are acting. It is nothing but push and as well as pull. One side it is push and the other side it is pull. One side it is pushing and the other side it is pulling. So it is nothing but push and pull of an object, and sometimes it is both push and pull of an object. Now let us see where these forces act. What type of force? What force can do? Now let us see. Now, force can change the state of a motion. Force can change the state of motion. Force can change the direction of the motion. Force can change the shape of the motion. Let us see how force can change the state of motion. So, force can change state of motion. That means it can change its state. For example, there is a football lying over there. Unless and until we just disturb it, it is not going to be disturbed. It is in the state of rest. It is in the state of rest position. Unless and until you act some force, or unless and until you give some force, the football is not able to move. So, what I am taking this football, this is at rest position. The football, whatever I am taking, it is at rest position. Now, as it is in the rest position, you go there and try to kick the ball. When you kick the ball, its state of rest is changed. That means the rest position is changed to motion. The rest, till that time, the body is at rest position. As you just kick it, it is coming into motion. So, this force can change the state of motion. And when I have kicked the rest, which is at the rest, it is moving. As it is moving, now try to put your leg and try to stop it. So, the football comes to rest. We can make the ball which is at rest to move and which is moving to be at rest. that means we are changing the state of motion. The body which is at rest, we are changing it into motion. How we are changing it into motion? By applying some force. The body which is in motion, I am making to rest. So the object which is in rest position can be changed to motion by applying some force. And already the body is in motion. I am stopping it. I am applying some force to stop it. So I am applying some force. So without the force applied, the body cannot be made it into motion, or that the motion body cannot be brought into rest. So force can change the state of motion. So this is the example for state of motion. Force can change the state of motion. Here it is in the state with rest position. That is, what is its state? Rest position. It can be changed to rest to motion and motion to rest. This is only possible because of force. Now let us go for second example. That is, force can change the direction. Force can change the direction. How can a force can change the direction? For example, you take a carom board striker. When we are playing the carom board, you just try to hit the striker. When you are striking a carom board coin, as you are striking, the coin moves and it changes the direction and goes in another direction. That means it is changing its direction. So by this we can say that force can change the direction. For example, a ball is in motion. We take another example. When the ball is in motion, it is moving towards east. For example, the body is moving towards east. You go there and try to push the body towards west. Apply some force and make it towards west. So here, by applying some force, the body is changed to east direction to west direction. In this way, the force can change the direction of motion. So first one, force can change the state of motion of the body, and second one, force can change the direction of body. Next, third one, force can change the shape. How can the force can change the third one? Force can change the shape of the body. Force can change the shape of the body. Shape means its structure. For example, this is duster. I am applying some force and try to push it. Now its shape has been changed. When I just release it, again it comes back to its position. So this is nothing but squeeze. I am squeezing it. Okay now. So the shape has been changed. When I just release, again the shape is coming back. It regains its shape. So again it can be changed, its shape. Again it is regaining to its shape. So by this, by applying some force only I can do it. So this is the example to show that force can change the shape of the ball. And when we make chapati, the duck is in the form of a roll. The duck, whatever before you are making a chapati, the duck is in the form of a roll. That by placing that roll on a flat surface and apply some force so that you can get that round ball, you can make it into a big chapati. Here it is in a roll, that is round shape. Here it is small in size. but here we are making into bigger in size. So force, by this experiment we can say that force can change the shape of a cone. The shape has been changed. So force can change the state of motion. Force can change the direction of motion. Force can change the shape of the ball. Next. Now let us see about types of force. How already we know that force is nothing but a push or it may be a pull. Force is nothing but push or pull, and sometimes it is both. Push and both, push and pull. Now let us see about types of forces. There are two types of forces. One is contact force and the other one is non-contact force. Now let us see the definition. How many types of forces we have? We have two types of forces. One is contact force and the other one is non-contact force. So let us see first one, contact force. What do you mean by contact force, or what is the definition of contact force, or where do we see these contact forces? And second one is non-contact force. Where do we observe this non-contact force? Are there in the universe any non-contact forces? So let us see about contact forces and non-contact forces. Contact force means in the name itself we have contact. Contact means just touching. Contact means touch. If the force exerted, now let us see contact force. What is contact force? The force exerted by the body with direct physical contact, then it is called a contact force. What is contact force? The force exerted by the body with direct physical contact. When you touch, one body is touching the other body. So both the bodies are touching. When the two bodies are touching, then we say that that is nothing but contact force. So how do you define the contact force? The force exerted by the body with contact of one body with the other body. There is a contact between one body and other body. Then it is called as contact force. For example, early morning, as you get up early in the morning, you brush your teeth. When you are brushing your teeth, what you will do? We take toothpaste. We apply some toothpaste on the brush and we are going to brush our teeth. When we are going to brush our teeth, we are pressing the toothpaste. Unless and until you press the toothpaste, do you get the paste? No. Unless and until you press, if you press the toothpaste, then only the toothpaste comes out of the tube. If you don't press, the paste does not come out. So that is called a direct, or that is called as, there is a direct touch. You are applying your fingers on the toothpaste tube so that you can press it. So that force is called as contact force. These contact forces, there are so many contact forces. As you get up early in the morning, you brush your teeth without touching your brush. Can you brush your teeth? No, obviously no. Why? Because you should hold the brush by your hand and try to brush your teeth. Without contact, you may not brush your teeth. So this force is called as contact force. In these contact forces, there are so many contact forces: brushing our teeth, bathing, washing, and so on. This all comes under contact force. you sweep the room. This all comes under sweeping the room, washing the clothes, cleaning the vessels. This all comes under contact force. Now let us see. Under the contact forces, there are so many examples. First one is the muscular force. Second one is the force of friction. Third one, normal force. And last one is tension. Now let us see one by one examples of contact force. First one, under contact force. First one, muscular force. What is muscular force? It is nothing but muscular. In the name itself we have muscle. Muscular is nothing but muscle. Where we apply this muscle force is nothing but muscular force. As we get up daily in the morning, we observe this. As we get up early in the morning, we will do exercises. When you are doing the exercises, you take the dumbbell and try to lift it. It is nothing but exercise. You are tightening or strengthening your muscles. Tightening your muscles, strengthening your muscles by lifting your dumbbell up and down. So, we are all using this, our muscular muscles. We are using the muscles, so that's why it is called as muscular force. In this muscular force, what all comes under this muscular force? Sweeping the room, washing the clothes, cleaning the vessels. This all comes under muscular force. A farmer plowing the land. This also comes under muscular force. Digging the well. The coolie digging the well. As he is digging the well with the crowbar, he is digging it and taking the mud out and throwing it outside. This all comes under. They are plucking they are plucking the mirchi from the mirchi plant. This all nothing but muscle. We are doing with our hands. That is nothing but muscular force. This all comes under muscular force. Next, when we are smiling, when we smile, here our muscles contract. This also comes under muscular force. And in this these are all the things where we can see with our eyes. There are some inner where we cannot see with our eyes. That is expansion and contraction of lungs. This is also nothing but, this also comes under muscular force. Expansion and contraction of the lungs. When you breathe in and when we breathe out. When you breathe in and breathe out. This all comes under expansion and contraction of lungs. This all comes under muscular forces. So, the dumbbell exercises, whatever we are doing early in the morning, walking, jogging, this all comes under muscular force. So, these muscular force has a very important role in our daily life. So, this is all about muscular force. Now, let us go for the second one, that is force of friction. Force of friction. What is this force of friction? What is meant by friction first of all? The resistance which opposes the motion of the body is called friction. Friction means the resistance which is offered to the body is called as friction. In this force of friction, let us take one example. You take a ball and make it to move on a carpet, a rough surface, and a smooth polished surface. Smooth polished surface. So, try to take a ball and try to make a move. Try to move the ball on the carpet and try to take the ball and move it on a rough surface. Try to take a ball and move it on a polished surface. When we compare all the three cases, The ball which is moving on a carpet is moving hardly. It cannot move freely. Why? Because of nothing but friction. Next, when the ball is moving on a rough surface, it moves slowly so that the ball cannot move freely. Why? Because this is also nothing but friction. But in the third case, when the ball is moving on a smooth polished surface, the ball easily moves. The ball easily moving. So, here on this polished surface, the ball easily moves because there is no friction. That means less friction. Here we have more friction. So, the more the roughness we have here in the first case and second case, the more the roughness, the friction will be there. The lesser is the here, when we consider the third case, smooth surface. When it is smooth surface, here there is less friction so that the body moves, the ball moves easily. In the rough surface, the bodies cannot move. In the smooth surface, the bodies can move easily because of friction. Here we have more friction. Rough surfaces means more friction and smooth surfaces, they have less friction. Because of this less friction, the body can move easily. So this is all about force of friction. Next one, normal force. Let us see third one. Let us see third one, normal force. What is this normal force? Normal means already we know that it is perpendicular. Normal is nothing but perpendicular. So, let us study about normal force. You place your science textbook. On the table. When you place your science textbook on the table, or any book you can place, not only the science textbook, place a book on the table. When you are placing the book on the table, the book is in stable. The book is happily lying over there. When you just take the table, what happens? The book easily falls down. Why? Because as long as there is table, the book does not fall. When you just remove the table or take out the table, the book slowly falls down. That means as it is supported by the table. As there is no table, the book easily falls down because there is gravitational force which is acting. For example, this is the science textbook what you have placed. Here, the forces are acting downwards. There is a gravitational pull which is pulling the book towards the earth. The gravitational pull always pulling the object towards the earth. And as it is pulling down to the earth, the gravitational pull, but there are some force which is acting on this book also. That is nothing but the force in the upward direction. So, one is the force which is acting towards downwards. It is pulling. And the other force which is supported by the table is nothing but normal force. So, even though when the book is on the table, it is the gravitational pull is attracting the book towards it is pulling the book towards here. But the book is not falling as long as it is on the table. Why? Because it is supported by the table. As long as there is a support, it does not fall. When there is no support, the book easily falls onto the ground. This is all because the book is not fallen down as there is table. So the table is exerting this normal force. So here there are two forces. One is gravitational force and the other one is acting towards upward direction. That is nothing but normal force. Because of this normal force, the book is lying on the table. Even though the book is on the table, there are some forces acting on the book. So this force is called as normal force. So let us see about the next one, tension. Let us see next one, tension. The last one. What is this tension? You take a rope, and try to fix a weight. Take a rope and try to fix one weight to the hanger. Then, as long as it is supported by the hanger, the weight is in tabular column. The weight is in stable. When, if there is any breakage in the wire, the weight easily falls down. Why does the weight easily falls down? Because already we know that it is acted upon by the gravitational pull. The gravitational pull is acting towards down, so it is pulling the object downwards. And as long as there is no breakage for the rope or the thread, the body is in stable. The body is lying like this. If there is any breakage, the body falls to the ground. The tightness of the rope as it is hanged by some weight, this tightness of the rope is called tension. When you just stretch a little bit, you can stretch it. The tightness of the rope is called as, it is having, because of some weight, it is tightened tightly. And this tightness of the rope is called tension. That is called tension. Next one. So this is all about contact forces. So under the contact forces, we have gone through muscular force. So what we have learned in the contact force? Muscular force we have learned, force of friction we have learned, normal force we have learned, and we have learned tension. Now let us go for non-contact forces. What are these non-contact forces? Let me define this. What is non-contact forces? So already we know about contact force, where there is a direct physical contact is called contact force. When the force exerted without any physical contact is called as non-contact force. The force exerted by the object without any physical contact is called non-contact forces. You may be surprised if there is no contact, how the forces are acting. Yes, the force can act without contact also. Let me give some examples, then you can easily understand. So, first one, let us see about magnetic force. Under the non-contact force, let me explain magnetic force. So, under this first one, magnetic force. Now, take one strong magnet. This is a strong magnet. Already we know that every magnet is having one north pole and one south pole. Each and every magnet is having north pole and south pole. So magnet is having two poles. Magnet does not exist in a unipole or single pole. It is always existed in two poles, that is north pole and south pole. Now, so take one strong magnet and place one pin nearby. Place one pin nearby. As it is nearby. There is no contact. Even though there is no contact, the pin comes and attracts. The pin comes and attracts towards the magnet. That is called non-contact force. There is lot of gap. There is a gap between the pin, safety pin or iron piece and the magnet. Even though there is a gap, the pin comes and towards attracts the bar magnet. So this is called as magnetic force. This force exerted, the force is exerted by the magnet is called as magnetic force. So what is magnetic force? The force exerted by the magnet is called magnetic force. The force exerted by the magnet is called magnetic force. Here there is no contact, but even then the pin is moving towards the magnet and attracting the magnet. This is about magnetic force. Let me give one more example so that you can easily understand. Take one sieving needle. Take one sieving needle and try to magnetize it. When you are magnetizing with a bar magnet, so try to magnetize it. And this sieving needle, when you magnetize it, it becomes a magnet. It becomes a magnet. So take one sieving needle and make it into a magnet. Now it becomes as a magnet. Why? Because you have rubbed the sieving needle with the magnet. As you have rubbed it, it becomes into a magnet. Now take that magnet and take one foam ball. Take one foam ball. Take some foam balls, that is two colors. One is red and the other one is white. One is red and the other one is white. And make this red. So connect, for example, this is a sieving needle. This is a sieving needle. Connect this red. This is red. And this is white. Consider this red as south pole and this is north pole. So take the sieving needle and connect two or fix two foam balls. One is red ball and the other one is white ball. Fix one red ball to one end and consider this red ball as south pole of the bar magnet. And place the white ball towards the other end and this acts as north pole. Take one more needle, take the other needle and do the same, magnetize it and take two foam balls, one is red and the other one is white. Red ball as south pole, red ball as south pole and white ball as north pole. Put both the needles in the water. When you put both the needles in the water, place them in such a way that both the red balls faces each other. Both the red balls faces each other. When the two red balls are facing each other, that means south pole and south pole are facing each other. As they are facing each other, we observe that these two objects are just repulsed. They repel each other. Why? Because the two red ball and red ball, while this is south pole, both the south poles are towards facing each other. When the two poles of the same magnet, when south pole of one bar, south pole of one magnet and the other south pole of another magnet, if they are faced each other, both south to south, that means like poles, like poles repel each other. Now you just exchange it. Bring the near the red south pole, bring the white part towards the, when you have bring the white ball towards the red ball, so the white ball attracts the red ball. That means red ball is south, white ball is north. So both south and north attract each other. So both south and north attract each other. By this we can say that unlike poles attract each other, like poles repel each other. So by this experiment we observe that like poles repel, like poles repel each other, like poles repel each other, unlike poles attract, unlike poles attract each other. South to south like poles, south to south like poles. South means both of them are south. If both of them are south, if both of them are north, they are called as like poles. Like poles, they never attract. Like poles repel each other. They will be moving far away from each other. When you take unlike poles, that is one is north pole and the other one is south pole. Both the bodies, one north pole and the south pole attract each other. That means unlike poles, one is south and the other one is north. So unlike poles attract each other. So by this experiment we have observed that it is all about magnetic force. So by this we can say that like poles repel each other, unlike poles attract each other. Like poles, like means same, south to south, or we can say north to north. Like poles means north to north or south to south. North to north or south to south. They are called as like poles. Like poles repel each other, unlike poles attract each other. So let us go for next topic, that is electrostatic force. So this is all about magnetic force. Now let us go for the next topic. That is electrostatic force. Next one. Now let us see electrostatic force. What is meant by this electrostatic force? In the name itself we have electro. Electro means charge. Electro. In the name itself we have electro is nothing but charge. Static is nothing but rest. Electro means charge. By electricity we are getting charge. So, electrostatic, electro plus static. Electrostatic force means electro plus static force. So, electro means charge, static means rest. So, the bodies are rest. So, how do we define this electrostatic force? The force exerted on a charged body. The force exerted on a charged body by another charged body on another charged body is called electrostatic force. So, the force exerted on a charged body, the force exerted by a charged body on another, the force exerted by a charged body on another object, the force exerted by a charged body on another object or charged body, or it may be uncharged body. So it is called as electrostatic force. The force exerted by a charged body on another charged body. It may be a charged body or it may be uncharged body also. So the force exerted by a charged body or another charged body or uncharged body is called electrostatic force. What is electrostatic force? The force exerted by a charged body or other charged body or uncharged body is called as electrostatic force. Now let us explain with some examples. Example number 1. When we take head bath after drying your hair, after taking the head bath, you dry your hair and take a comb, plastic comb, and try to comb your hair. Number of times, for example, 20 times or 30 times. When you comb your hair, that comb you take and try to bring that comb near the pieces of paper. When you bring that comb near the pieces of paper or pieces of thermocol, these thermocol pieces are attracted by the comb. The comb attracts. The comb attracts all these thermocol pieces. Comb is getting charged. The comb is getting charged by rubbing your dry hair number of times. So it is getting charged. So it is attracting this object. So this is an example of electrostatic force. We can take another example, that is example 2. This is example 1 and this is example 2. Another example. Take a balloon. Take a balloon and try to fill the air into the balloon. And the balloon bulges out. When the balloon bulges out,